I am today announcing the suspension of State Attorney Monique Worrell from the 9th Judicial Circuit, effective immediately.
Now at 6, Governor Ron DeSantis announcing the suspension of Orange Osceola State Attorney Monique Worrell, accusing her of neglect of duty.
We have reaction tonight from political leaders to law enforcement officers. Greg Fox looks at the political fallout, and Marley Martinez has more on Worrell's temporary replacement. West 2 Stuart Moore begins our team coverage at the Orange County Courthouse.
Well, Jim, today's announcement is a culmination of tensions between Monique Worrell and Governor Ron DeSantis. For months, the governor has criticized how Worrell's office has prosecuted crimes, while Worrell has maintained that she is simply upholding the law, adding that her removal is politically motivated. In his announcement this morning, the governor said he was suspending Worrell for neglect of duty and incompetence. Specifically, he said she showed a pattern of avoiding minimum mandatory sentences for gun crimes, avoiding minimum mandatory sentences for drug trafficking offenses, and allowing juvenile offenders to avoid serious charges and incarceration, among other things.
Prosecutors do have a certain amount of discretion about which cases to bring and which not. But what this state attorney has done is abuse that discretion and has effectively nullified certain laws in the state of Florida.
I am your duly elected state attorney for the 9th Judicial Circuit, and nothing done by a weak dictator can change that. Elected officials are being taken out of office solely for political purposes, and that should never be a thing.
While the court canceled hearings and trials this morning, cases were able to resume around 1:30 this afternoon. Now, replacing Monique Worrell is now former Judge Andrew Bain. West 2's Marley Martinez joins us now with more Bain's background. Marley.
Andrew Bain is from South Florida, but he's made Central Florida his home. A big mission of his, making an impact in the community, which is why his most recent Facebook post actually focuses here on Eatonville, highlighting the town's scholarship program.
I'm appointing Judge Andrew Bain to take over as state attorney for the 9th Judicial Circuit.
A major title change for Orlando Judge Andrew Bain on Wednesday.
I'd like to first thank the governor for his leadership and trust in my ability to serve the people of the 9th Circuit.
Now this is the second time that the 38-year-old has thanked Governor Ron DeSantis for an appointment. The first, when the governor appointed him and he took the bench as judge in Orange County 2 years ago.
And the governor for showing faith in the young man from Lauderdale Lakes.
The 38-year-old is from Broward County. He went to the University of Miami, where he double majored in psychology and African American studies, according to the college. He also played football there as an offensive lineman. Bain then went to law school at Florida A&M. He worked as a prosecutor in Orange and Osceola counties for nearly 7 years, focusing on misdemeanor, felony, and juvenile delinquency cases. Most recently, he's been an Orange County judge.
And I trust that he will be a prosecutor that faithfully enforces the law and will keep the communities of Central Florida safe.
Bain started his legal career in this office that he's about to lead.
The state attorney's office has allowed lawlessness to take root in our community.
After going from football player to prosecutor to judge, Bain says he's ready to make his mark, as his name is now stamped on the state attorney's seal.
I will make this office accountable to the community we serve and to ensure criminals who poison society, cause mayhem and murder are held accountable under the law.
Bain said his office will be good partners with law enforcement. Stuart.
Marley, thank you. And Orange County's Mayor Jerry Demings weighed in on the suspension today. He says it takes a lot to remove an elected official from office.
Whenever the governor removes someone from office, historically it has been a high bar. You know, the person has violated the law, been charged with a crime or some other misconduct. And so we'll have to see at this point where this takes us.
And today, Orlando area representatives Darren Soto and Maxwell Frost were joined by several other Florida Democratic representatives to demand Worrell's reinstatement of duty. The members said in a statement, this is another partisan political attack by Florida's governor that ignores the will of the people. They add the governor does not have the right to dismiss an elected official from office just because she's not serving his radical political agenda. That's not grounds for suspension. We demand the governor reinstate her immediately. Now, today's decision to suspend State Attorney Monique Worrell is raising the question, is this more about justice or more about politics? West News political reporter Greg Fox continues our team coverage.
And it is time for us to reinstate democracy here in the state of Florida.
Just 1 week before Circuit 9 State Attorney Monique Worrell was suspended from office, she was helping Democrats rally voters to register ahead of next year's election, all while poking fun at Governor Ron DeSantis' signature line.
As the term Free Florida is touted to kind of make a mockery of all of the freedoms that have been rolled back through strokes of pens.
But Republicans we talked with say the governor replaced Worrell for one important reason: public safety. They say the shooting of 2 Orlando police officers last Saturday by a habitual felon who'd previously been granted bond on Worrell's watch was just the latest example of what they call her failure to prosecute dangerous criminals.
Well, I think once again, Governor DeSantis is protecting the people of the state of Florida.
Charles Hart is former chair of the Orange County Republican Party.
Why isn't the state attorney in the Ninth Circuit doing their job? And Governor DeSantis is asking that question for all of us. And, after making a careful, methodical determination, Governor DeSantis decided that she wasn't doing the job, and he's used his powers to remove her.
I mean, this is 100% politically motivated. And
local Democratic lawmaker Anna Escamani says, while not unexpected, she calls the governor's decision to suspend the first-term state attorney as disappointing as his removal last year of Tampa State Attorney Andrew Warren, who had indicated he would not prosecute women or clinics that violate the state's 15-week abortion ban.
I'm very hopeful that Monique Worrell will fight this and there'll be a lawsuit challenging, because at the end of the day, this is a much like Andrew Warren, not constitutional to remove an elected official because you politically don't like them.
All of this comes as Monique Worrell may be contemplating a run for re-election to a second term next year. In Orange County, Greg Fox, West News.
And we are also asking law enforcement leaders what they think about the governor's move. We're still waiting to hear back from Orlando's police chief on this, but both of his officers are expected to recover from that downtown shooting. One was just released from the hospital on yesterday. Meanwhile, Orange County Sheriff John Mina did weigh in with Worrell after 3 people were killed in Pine Hills back in February, saying that suspect caught a legal break allowing him to be out. Sheriff Mina said today, our focus at the Orange County Sheriff's Office is to protect our community from violent criminals. We rely on our partnership with the state attorney's office to ensure those offenders are held to account and kept off our streets. We look forward to working with Judge Andrew Bain in his new role as state attorney. Osceola County Sheriff Marco Lopez said something similar today, saying, quote, the victims of crime in Osceola County will always come first. Meanwhile, they are not the only law enforcement leaders to weigh in. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says data proves why Worrell should not be the state attorney for Orange and Osceola counties.
Ms. Worrell, the state attorney in the Ninth Circuit, has dismissed more charges of defendants than any other state attorney in the state of Florida during the same period.
Moody claims Worrell dismissed or did not file charges against more than 40% of defendants arrested in the Ninth Circuit. Worrell says none of this is true and claims it's all part of the false narrative to try and take her down. Our team coverage continues tonight at 10 and 11 right here on West 2 and also online at west.com. We're going to hear more from local lawmakers and community members as they respond to Worrell's suspension.